kind of to that end, I guess that I would say is that the teacher, you are not a deliverer of a scheme.
So Gareth, a long time ago, as I said, you really inspired me as a fresh teacher to really just think outside of the box with maths teaching. And it was at a time, it was 2014, 2015. So it was at that really pivotal moment where we had the new national curriculum come in, and suddenly everyone was moving away from their textbooks where it was just kind of like columns of A, B, and C, and you do challenge by choice, or you say, right, you're the most able, so you do the hard column and you do the easy column. And we were moving away from that, and you massively inspired me with your resources and with the training you put on to do things like, hey, I still remember the day when you said, you gave an example on the screen of showing hiding some information and getting the children to visualize a problem before they then tackle the information. So that was just one of many things. If you were to speak to directly now to some new teachers like myself back then, what would be, this is going to be a hard question for you, but what would be, I guess, your advice for a really passionate, fresh teacher who really wants to nail their maths teaching and be a better maths teacher? What would you say to them?
Okay, there's so many little things, and the thing, I guess, before I answer that, is I would say for people just to be patient with themselves, because I am a kind of person, I'm really driven and really passionate, and things have gone wrong for me so often, and and that's part of the kind of experimentation within teaching as well, and children benefit from you experimenting, and I think, kind of to that end, I guess that I would say is that the teacher, you are not a deliverer of a scheme. And what we want to be able to do is, it's fantastic to have a structure, and that's really helpful, and to have great resources. And it's thinking about how do I and where do I take ownership of that? And how do I ensure that what the children are telling me in their success, that I am able to adapt to them. And for that to take the form of, it might be within a lesson, I'm looking for little checks for understanding. And I would use the tools of, giving children individual thinking time, looking at little questions that I can give that will check for understanding within a lesson, and looking at how I adapt within a lesson, but also kind of looking over time and seeing the characteristics that children are building, and where is it that I should place my emphasis. So when I take the structure that I work within, how do I amend it, and how do I make that my own? And I guess to some extent as well, just the general encouragement I give anyone in any subject is just to be open with the things that you're unsure of or finding difficult, and finding different opinions. And like I remember moving to, one of my favorite examples that I give, I think maybe it's my least favorite example I give, was moving to year one and finding my partner teacher just delivering things much more effectively than I was. And I was quite senior in my career then. And actually, I just knew what I needed to do, is I just need to go and have a look at what it looks like in there. And I think it's, to some extent, it's that humility as well that is, it's really important.
I think, you nailed that. And I think you mentioned it early on, then you went into more detail about, you've made mistakes. You've made plenty of mistakes yourself. And I think it's so important for people to hear that, because I am definitely a sucker for the whole, it's like the example of like Instagram versus reality. People always say that, don't they? What you see on Instagram, whatever it is not really reality. And I guess it's the same in teaching. You might go to some incredible training and speak to some incredible people. It doesn't mean they're not making any mistakes. And it's definitely worth knowing that. So thank you. I wish I'd heard that early on, because I definitely beat myself up too many times when one lesson wasn't perfect, and it's like, it's fine.